So good day everyone. So for today, I'm going to tackle about the miscellaneous provision and the harbor regulation related to custom. So this is the continuation of the administrative provision and the operation provision that I tackle uh, lately. So first is the section 20, the certificate for quarantine cargoes. So, when cargo manifested for any port in the Philippines is retained on board the importing vessel by either of the quarantine officer or any other officer authorized to issue such order, the customs inspector on board are verifying said cargo shall make a certificate or the constructive landing as to the bill of landing. So, this section 20 is refers to the certificate that the quarantine officer or the authorized uh, person will release the certificate for the quarantine cargoes. So, next is the section 21, use of boarding watercraft. So, the customs senior boarding officer shall not permit anyone to go with the custom boarding watercraft upon departure from the pier except the custom inspector and custom guards duly assigned to vessel to the boarded. The custom inspector and custom guards assigned by the chief base service section or its equivalent office to substitute for absent personnel and those especially granted in writing by the chief, the peers, and the inspector division or its equivalent office may be given the privilege to use the boarding watercraft. So this section 21 is used for is talk about the boarding watercraft and when we where with what is the time that they going to use the watercraft, and it depends to the custom inspector and the custom guards. So let's proceed to the next one, which is the section 22, the baggage declaration entry. So the baggage in declaration properly accomplished by the incoming passenger shall be presented to the customs inspector on board or the custom examiner or appraiser upon the boarding of the vessel. It is required that an itemized enumeration thereon of the articles obtained abroad showing quantity and the corresponding invoice price should be made in the baggage declaration. So article, warehouse, goods, merchandise, and any other cargoes required abroad not to declare shall be liable to seizure and subject to the penalties of the custom law. So next is the section 23, the vessel clearing for foreign port applying this bunker. The custom inspector on board of the vessel clearing for foreign ports and applying for bunkers shall require the master thereof to transmit together with this application to a usual affidavit containing the following. First is the name of and the nationality of vessel. Second is the amount of fuel, oil available on board for its propulsion at time of entry. So number 3 is the vessel daily consumption of oil at sea. 4 is the vessel daily consumption of the oil in port. Number 5 is the port or port of call during the voyage and duration of the vessel's stay at each port and the last one, which is the amount of bunker applied for. So the next one, which is the unloading of cargo by distressed vessel. A distressed vessel is a port desiring to unload cargo for duration of the vessel's sojourn. Retreat may be issue a permit to discharge her cargo upon written request of the master or agent approved by the collector of custom. Under such term of condition, he may deem proper. If the cargo's discharge will be clear or enter in the port where they are discharged, the unloading of its class of cargo shall be submitted to the same rule or regulation prescribed for cargoes destined of the ports. So next is the section 25, the ship mail. The ship's mail shall be examined as they are been taken from the ship, and all mails addresses the person other than the agents of the vessel shall be delivered to the mail clerk. Any dutiable articles or the merchandise other than mail found in the mail bags shall be subject to duties and taxes or seashore. So, in the section 26, the laborer and ship's laundry. All stevedores, the laborers, and other person of similar status shall be thoroughly searched by or under the immediate provision of the custom inspector on board. Upon their leaving the vessel, any such person found with pilfered article or those not authorized for discharge in the person shall be arrested. Yes. So, next is the section 27, the seashore. The custom inspector or the custom guards making seashore shall deliver to the owner of the claimant and the under claim to the master of the vessel a receipt prescribing the articles seized. He shall forward immediately the articles seized together with the sea report and transport note to the chief pier and the inspector division or its equivalent office. So next is the section 28, the arrest. Upon searching of vessel or any person on board thereof, the custom inspector or the custom guards on the board is authorized and required to search, arrest, and even detain comfortably with the law. So, any person found committing act or acts contrary to law when a person is apprehended under such circumstances, the custom inspector on board shall conduct an informal investigation of termination whereof the person arrested together with the evidence shall be turned over to the enforcement of the security service or the ESS. Section 29, small boat alongside vessels. Small boat authorized by the PPA to engage in ferry service may be permitted to come alongside the vessel. A custom guard shall be stationed at all times while a small boat, launch, or any watercraft is alongside, and it shall be thoroughly searched before being permitted to depart. They're going to make sure that that the small boat are in a good condition before they going to permit to depart. So yes. So in the next is the section 30, which is the custom guards for vessel lying alongside. A custom guard shall be detailed by the custom inspector on board of the vessel when another vessel is lying alongside, whose duty shall be to see that um, no contraband article or merchandise is passed from one vessel to the other. This duty shall be arranged in rotation so that the vessel will be under continuous surveillance under um, until its departure. Sorry for that. So next is the section 31, which is the having anchor and sail. Upon receipt of the notice of clearance, the custom inspector on board shall allow the vessel to heavy anchor and sail. But if, for any reason, the ship does not leave the remain in port for more than 48 hours after the time of departure indicated in the clearance, the master and the agent shall be required to secure from the custom clearance officer an extension of time for departure, without which the original clearance shall be of no force or effect. So the next, which is the section 32, repair of vessel equipment. So upon the filing of the bond or underground under the section 105 or the 105 of the Tariff Custom Code of the Philippines as amended, guaranteeing the exportation and approved by the collector of custom and landing of sail, cracks, the chronometers, and the other portion of the vessel's equipment for the purpose of having them repair shall be permitted. So the custom inspector shall describe the articles or equipment for release in efficient details to able to easy and ready identification upon the return. So, section 33, the conversion of vessel status. There are two factors, which is the from foreign to crosswise, and the second is the from the crosswise to foreign. So first is the first factor, which is the from foreign to crosswise. The vessel of foreign status may be converted to a crosswise status after the following requirements are fully complied with the submitted to the collector of custom through the custom clearance officer as a prerequest to the assurance of clearance. So the following, which is the first, is the certification from the concerned office of the Bureau of Import Entry had been filed and duties and taxes had been paid or secured to be paid. Second is certification of conversion issued by the Marine Industry Authority. Third is the certification from the ship, Pierce and the Inspector Division and Chief Bay Service Section or their equivalent offices with the enforcement and the security service as member of the searching team, that the vessel has been fully searched for contraband cargoes, indicating therein the results of their searching mission. So number 4, The certification from the shipping agency assisted by the custom inspector on board that all foraging cargoes are fully discharged from vessel. So, the last one, which is the inventory list of ship store and saloon and crew declaration list shall be duly accomplished, signed by the master of the vessel and assisted by the custom inspector on board. So, the second factor, which is the from coastwise to foraging. So, vessel of coastwise status may be converted to the foraging status subject to the following requirements. So, there are two requirements of the coastwise to foraging. First is the certification of conversion issued by the Marine Industry Authority and the duly processed exportation declaration or permits. So the next is the section 34, the letter of collector. The customs senior boarding officer shall collect all the letters of the vessel position addressed to the collector of custom and transit them without daily to the custom house. The next is the section 35, refuse and garbage. No refuse, garbage, and the like shall be thrown or jettisoned inside any harbor or more especially while the ship is alongside pier. All damage and routine cargo shall be disposed of upon agreement and permission of the collector of custom and at the sea designated by said official or duly authorized representative after the consultation with the Philippine Coast Guard or the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR. So next, which is the section 36, the firearms care and use. Care should be exercised in the use of firearms. The unnecessary display of the firearm is prohibited. An employee should remember that the law will hold him personally responsible for the result of the use of firearms by him. So, yes, this section is all talk about the care and use for the firearms. So, for unnecessary use of the firearms to the crew of the vessel will be have a penalty. So, the officer and employee shall not be permitted to carry firearms while on duty. So, until they have been thoroughly instructed in the proper care and use of such weapon. All firearms will be inspected by the Chief, Pierce, and Inspection Division or its Covenant Office. So, periodically to see that they are kept in condition and proper use. So, next is the section 37, the instruction relative to discharging withdrawal and loading for empty containers. There are three factors, which is the discharging of empty containers. Second is the withdrawal of empty containers. Third, and the last one, which is the loading of empty containers. So first is the discharging of empty containers. The shipping agent prior to discharge of empty container shall furnish the Custom Container Control Division or its Covenant Office a copy of the approved sequence of discharge of a separate listing of empty containers to be discharged from the carrying vessel for monitoring and aging purposes. Second, which is the withdrawal of empty containers, the shipping agent concerned by the present a letter request to the Chief Custom Container Control Division or its equivalent office for withdrawal of empty container from the pier. Once approved, the deputy collector for operation, the chief, the enforcement security service, and the chief peers and the inspector division shall be furnished copy of the request and the permit to withdraw the issue. So next is the loading of empty containers. Prior to loading of empty containers on board carrying vessel, the ship agent concerned by the shall apply for the special permit to load in the later application made for a purpose of the Custom Container Control Division or its equivalent office. It shall be responsibility of the Custom Container Control Division or its equivalent office to physically inspect every empty containers brought into or unloaded onto the port to verify if needed to same it's empty, represented by the concerned parties. So next, which is the section 38, the instruction relative to withdrawal of shut-out container export. It has a one factor, which is the withdrawal of shut-out the container export cargoes. So all application for the withdrawal of shut-out containers export cargoes shall be directed filed with the chief or the CCCD or its equivalent office. Stop checking of the contents of the subject container shall no longer be required, but instead of the following precautionary measures shall be undertaken. So A, we have the application to withdrawal shut-out container export cargo shall be accomplished at all times by the following. First is the certification of the ship agent concerned assisting to such fact. Second is the unequipment intercharge receipt or the EIR. And the last one, a copy of export declaration or permit or inquiry. So B, the spot checking shall be confined only determine whether the original shipping agent shall affix after the stopping operation is intact. C is in case the containerized export cargoes are deliveries from the CBW, which fact shall be indicated in the application. The same shall not be withdrawn unless accompanied by the custom guards who shall guard the same until the shipments and received by the assigned custom warehouseman or the custom storekeeper at the CBW. The next is the section 39, the shifting of cargoes. Shipping agent shall submit a written request for shifting of cargoes to the office of the chief, the piers, and the inspection division or its equivalent office, which in turn shall recommended its approval to the deputy collector for operation. So the next is the section devanning or the stripping and staffing. The consigned shall submit a written request for devanning, stripping, and staffing to the office of the chief, piers, and the inspection division or its equivalent office, which in turn shall recommended its approval to the deputy collector its operation. So, section 41, direct to truck transfer. So, for direct transfer of container or cargo from vessel to truck, consigned or custom broker shall submit a written request to the office of the chief, piers, and the inspection division or its equivalent office, which in turn shall recommended its approval to the deputy collector for operation. So next is the section 42, the overtime permit or request for overtime work by pier and inspector division or its equivalent office personnel other than those regular activities mentioned in this manual shall be recommended by the chief, the piers, and the inspection division or its equivalent office, and approved by the deputy collector of for operation. So next is the section 43, discharging of vessel slug. All requests for discharging of the vessel slug shall be recommended by the chief, piers, and inspection division or its equivalent office, and approved by the deputy collector for operation. Sample of slug shall be taken by the custom examiner from formal entry division or its equivalent office for examination purposes. So, second to the last, which is the section 44, the bunker permit. All requests for the bunkering, the refueling shall be recommended of approval by the chief, piers, and inspection division or its equivalent office to the chief, the ports operation service or the AOCG. The last one, which is the section 45, the leisure racing yacht. The boarding formalities shall, as far as practicable, apply the leisure craft, the yachts, foreign fishing vessel, and the local fishing vessel from abroad. This provision shall include all vessels arriving in the country that are participants of regattas or similar competition. So the next topic, which is the harbor regulation related to customs. So we have the factors 2, 6. So we have 10 factors of the harbor regulation related to custom. So first is the vessel entering port. All vessel entering any port or of entry or coastwise in the Philippines shall show their color and signal their official number or letters and such signal shall be kept flying till the vessel is boarded by the proper official. All vessels within 2 miles before arriving at the designated quarantine anchorage shall display their aforementioned signal. So number 2 is when mail is to be discharged, the vessel shall inform the port authorities by the prescribed signal at the earliest opportunity. The second factor, which is the flag signal or calls. First is at the Philippine port of entry signal will be responded to and from customer house or pilot signal tower. Second is the following signal or call shall be used in all Philippine ports of entry. So, A, the custom. International Code Flag ENC Night 3 for short blast and whistle and waving of a light. B is quarantine. International Code Flag is the Q and the 4. C is the pilot. The International Code Flag, the G or PT at night. One is the pyrotechnic light, the commonly known as a blue light, and every 15 minutes. 2 is a bright white light flash or shown at short frequent interval just above the hull for about a minute at a time, or the international code signal the PT by flashing light. So ND, the explosive on the inflammable. The international code B, a flag B and the 4. A is the medical assistant, the international code flag or the custom call. F is the contagious of infection disease. The international code flag is the EZQ. G is death. For custom and quarantine calls or international code flags with ANL. H, distress. By day, the international code flag is NC or gun or other explosive signal. Fire in interval of about a minute, or the distress signal consisting a square flag of having ether above or below in the ball or anything resemble a ball. At night, a gun or other explosive signal fire or at interval or about a minute. Flames or the vessel after as from a burning tar, barrel, barrel, etc. Or the rocket or shell, throwing star, or any color of description. Fire one at a time at short interval. So I, male, the international code flag which is the Y. G, waterboat, international code flag RCQ or the FU. K is the DID ESS for custom call. L, the harbor master, the international code flag, the GYT. M, maneuvering, international code flag D at night. So The third factor, which is the quarantine requirements, death, illness, and or accidents involving physical or any person on board a vessel in the harbor shall be at once reported to the collector custom and the quarantine officer. Fourth, which is the repair or dry docking of vessel. No repair except minor ones one shall be allowed on any vessel in a port without the permission of the collector of custom or the deputy collector for operation, as well as its transfer to designated place of dry dock shall be submit to continuous underguarding until final clearance. For dry docking, the following documents are required: searching and inventory report. Second is the approval from the office and the deputy collector for operation. The last one is the certification from contractor or scope of work and duration of repair. The next factor, which is the sunken vessel. Whenever the navigation of any harbor or navigable river tributary thereto shall be obstructed by any sunken vessel, boat, watercraft, or other similar obstruction has existed for a period long than 30 days, or whenever abandonment can be established in the less space of time. The sunken vessel, the boat, the watercraft, or other obstruction may be broken up, removed, sold, or otherwise of disposed of by the collector of custom in his discretion at the expenses of the owner, provided, however, that if navigation of the waterway is prevented or seriously endangered by any obstruction, the collector of custom may cause a removal immediately and before the expiration of 30 days at the expenses of the owner, therefore. So, the next factor, which is the or tags of other watercraft. The lighter shall not be tied nor removed from the alongside of vessel without the permission of the custom inspector on board such vessel. So, the next factor, which is the police authority, perform the custom officer. So, first is the custom officer have the power to arrest within the harbor limits person violating the custom, the immigration, and the navigation law and regulation, and the person committing crimes or breaches of the peace. Such arrests shall be reported without delay of the superior officer. Second is any person who assault, resist, opposes, or interferes in any manners with a custom officer in the discharge of the duty shall be liable and subject to be the penalties prescribed by law. Next is the rat guards. When any vessel, either a foreign or the Philippine registry, is the any dock, pier, wharf, quay, or bulkhead, such vessel shall take proper precaution to prevent the passage of rodent to or from the vessel. The vessel shall be fended off from the pier, wharf, quay, bulkhead, or dock not necessary than 6 feet, unacceptable rat guards as prescribed shall be affixed on all connecting lines, and in addition all cargoes nets, the cuties, and the similar device extending between the vessel and the shore structure shall be removed at night unless in the actual use, as shall all the gangways, the ladders, unless they guarded or the proper light. Second is the master of the vessel of the foreign entry of the Philippine registry engaged in foreign trade, whether lying alongside a pier, dock, the quay, wharf, or the bulkhead, or its a stream, shall have the suitable rat guards placed on all times between idle lighters or small boats or other carrier and the vessel, which must be the fastened, that the guards will remain at night at right angle to the tide on the line. Third is the no cargo shall be discharged from or received on board a vessel lying alongside a pier, wharf, quay, dock, or the bulkhead, or in the stream before the suitable rat guards have been placed on all the lines loading from the carrier of the vessel and from the vessel to the pier, wharf, the quay, dock, and bulkhead, except in the case of coastwise vessel handling the coastwise cargo to or from uh, barge, the lighters, or the other carriers from the barge lighter or other carrier when the rat guards requirements on line between the vessel and carrier may be dispensed with. So the next, which is the other special anchorage. Likewise, all other boats and watercraft are prohibited to anchor or to linger around any vessel with a moor at uh, at a pier or anchored in the harbor at the distance at least 50 meters from said vessel, unless especially authorized by the custom of collector of custom. So the last one, which is the specific regulation. So first is the no lighters or carrier shall lay at night alongside a Philippines government pier or alongside a vessel moored thereto, nor shall lighters or the carrier be attached to such a pier or vessel by cables or ropes, or attach a loaded or partly loaded carrier which may be alongside or fastened to such a vessel or pier. So, second is the empty lighter or the carrier alongside or attached a such pier or vessel during daytime shall be removed therefrom before the nightfall. Third, which is the provision contained in paragraph 1 and 2 above hereof shall not apply to carrier uh, partially laden with import and export cargo, or to empty carrier which may have been prepared, or cargoes were preparing to receive cargoes from the pier or vessel when delivery from a pier or discharge of the vessel during night time has been duly authorized. So the last one, which is any vessel or other watercraft in the Philippines harbor shall When a case of sickness occur on board, immediately host the regulation quarantine flag, the yellow, and keep the same flying until boarded and passed upon by its inspector of the quarantine bureau. The flag shall be sufficient size and so placed as to be plainly visible.